All right. Well, I think I can summarize my thoughts in one thing.
What?
Too many bones. Right?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know why I'm still here with you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ready Steady Play. I'm joined by Ben Hirsh.
Hello.
We're here to talk about Too Many Bones and give our final thoughts on what we thought of the game we just played.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I really liked it.
Cool. That is a really informative final thought. Is there anything else you want to say about the game, Mac?
Why did it take us so long to play?
I have no idea. So,
I mean, we always add some contingency time for filming, but this we went really over, like in extremely the other direction.
well, it says 60 to 90 minutes on the box.
Mm.
And I think that's... I mean, if you lose in the first few rounds, then maybe that's realistic. But, I mean...
Yeah, I suppose we did defeat the final boss.
Yeah.
So we played as much game as there was to play.
No.
Well, actually, we played 2 extra cards.
Yeah, we delayed from taking on the final... But there is a limit to take on the final boss of, like, in our...
I mean,
case,
that's like, actually the only way to lose is to run out of time.
Yeah, for sure.
So actually, maybe the variance of game length is not that long.
Well, we were told half an hour per player by a lovely gentleman who sorted us out with this game just on the day of shooting, which was great. So thank you to him. But yeah, it took way longer than that. No way half an hour per player. So apart from that though,
I mean, that's more of an observation, not a criticism, because
Yeah.
for all the hours we did play, I really, really, really enjoyed it.
oh yeah.
But also, the Goblin King is 3 out of 6 in duration.
Yeah, so there are shorter, I'm guessing there are shorter tyrants to face and longer ones too.
Yeah, presumably.
With obviously longer
So
like
if you do
round
a
limits.
6-level tyrant, does that take 12 hours?
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the turn, on the round limit for the days, because there's a limit on how many days.
15, isn't it?
Okay, so
Is
it's
that the
three
maximum?
more than. The 8 number of spaces to go, I think, is the longest. Maybe there's a 10.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the sort of bare minimum you can spend to actually get there. Yeah. But having said that as well, like when we got to the sort of final boss stages and we were going for those like final experience points, and we were like, oh, just one more mission, and then we fucked the first one up.
Yeah,
and we were like,
that
one
was
more
great.
mission. But I really felt like at that point I was sort of unlocking almost luxury skills,
Yeah.
like that I didn't need, and even once and I didn't need them, and even once I had them, I felt like if I was going to get any more, then I would just have to start speccing a whole new thing. So I didn't feel like, in terms of experience, there was a lot more for me to get. And actually, in terms of items, I was carrying basically my maximum. Well, at least in terms of regular loot. I could have had like some more trove loot, but...
I think at that point when you sort of have maxed out, you can always just keep doing your base stats. I mean, you could have done with some more HP, could have done with some more defense or attack. I mean...
I definitely didn't need any more dexterity.
Okay, well...
I had like
that's true.
loads of dexterity. This is like my dump stat every time I failed to get another attack.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, but attack and HP, I mean, you can't go wrong with HP. I mean...
Yeah, you can't go wrong with HP.
That's always useful.
Yeah. Well, and I mean dexterity as well to a point. And I think it might be a sort of an issue isolated to Nugget because she's got so many abilities that allow her to move around the babattlefield.
Oh yeah, she's very maneuverable.
Exactly. So then, dexterity is basically all about rolling dice, and I just kept running out of dice to roll. So I'd have dexterity to spare. But if you were another character, I think you'd
be more useful to spend that dexterity to move around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. So what else? I really like the connection with the characters. I mean, this game, I played this another time since we played it, And I mean,
Wait a minute, this isn't we didn't just stop playing together?
Yeah, in that time, I quickly ducked out for
another game of Too Many Bones.
Week of playing Too Many Bones and came back here and continued filming.
Well, we're wearing the same clothes. This must be continuous.
Well, we are. Shit. Well, in that time when I played it, I just played with the same characters just because the person I was playing with picked Nugget, and I just went with Gilly because I know how he works. And it was fun because I kind of knew you get a feel for what you want to do with them, and I sort of spec'd a little differently. But an issue we faced, which you didn't really come across in the gameplay, was this sort of spiral of doom where if you start failing missions or encounters, you don't get the XP for them, but your day counter still ticks up. So you're facing harder enemies with less XP, like less training points as you go. So if you fail like 2 or 3 missions encounters, I'm pretty sure you can't win at that point. There's like a point where it just felt like no matter what we did, we wouldn't be able to win unless we got really lucky with an encounter which gave us just free training points. So yeah, that's the only problem I have with the game. That's probably my only negative.
Yeah, we didn't experience that because we're super pro.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
But it's not that it's hard. I quite like its difficulty. I like that it's really
hard. That you need to be able to fail, or there's no sort of sense of achievement.
But I feel like the failing shouldn't just be a slow spiral of doom. It should just sort of be like...
there's nothing worse than a very slow descent towards the end and not a lot you can do.
And just seeing yourself not being able to bring it back, because I couldn't imagine it being possible. I've checked online. Some people have beaten Goblin King with like 2 or 3 failed encounters, which is understandable, but I'm sure there is a threshold limit.
I mean, how many did we fail? 2?
We failed 1 or 2. We failed the one against the dragon.
Yeah. I bossed that up real bad. I was quite sleepy.
Yeah, you were doing some silly decisions, which made it a bit...
I was just like, I'm going to throw... but like I said as well, I threw those 3 blue dice and got all bones.
Yeah, I mean...
It was a pretty unlucky roll.
There were many bones. I mean, it's a good name.
Yeah, that's a surefire way to die. Just roll all bones.
Yeah.
Or too many bones.
But what you get in the box is awesome. I mean... I've got it with the 3 extra characters that we were playing with 2 of them. Basically, it comes with 4 characters, and I mean, each character adds... I mean, like I said, I'm still using Gilly because I haven't gotten all the game out of Gilly, and every combination of characters feels like a new sort of take on how to play the game. Yeah. And I imagine... I've only played it with 2 players. I imagine playing with 3 or 4 being a lot of fun as well, because you can... There's more to do. I mean, you don't have to rely on... Like, if I was playing Gilly with more people, I wouldn't have to rely on bringing out my companions so much. I could go for a more trap-based build or a more archer-based build, which is cool. I like that sort of flexibility that the characters have.
But do you think that you would find there would be actually less tactics in the combat because there'd be less room to move around? Because there'd be a monster in every row and a hero in every row.
I think there'd be more so because you'd be able to block other monsters with gearlocks to get certain characters out the way. I think there'd be a little bit more tactical sort of, space. But yeah, no.
I suppose there'd be different kinds. You'd I suppose if you had a broader selection, but you might have someone who's more capable of tanking. I mean, we were largely relying on your Wolverine. But if you had tanks and stuff like that, rather than kiting as much, you'd be hiding behind the tanks and things.
Yeah, and then just shooting with range. Because range is so powerful. Range is insanely powerful. The fact that you can just hit anyone anywhere, I think is great. It
just makes it simpler. I mean, who wants to be counting squares stuff?
Or circles.
Checking lines of sight or whatever.
But it's cool that that's just how it works. I mean, the battle map is representing a...
it's quite abstract. It's sort of representing a battlefield.
Yeah, but I liked how they did it. They streamlined everything.
I noticed. I think the battle map must have been something they worked on because I was looking at the Kickstarter page for it, and there's a picture of the battle map, and it's not the same.
Oh, really? I haven't.
It doesn't actually have. I don't understand how it works because it doesn't have any of the spaces. It's just got the 2 rows, and in each row there's a forward and a back, like arranged in combat space.
Oh.
But they're kind of overlapping. So they're not even separate spaces, really. You're either just in the front or in the back.
and that's it.
And that's it. And that's just facing off against something the same, but on the other side. And there's none of these other spaces for moving around. So I don't really understand how that would have worked. But I guess the combat map was something they added in because they felt maybe it needed a bit more dynamic.
Yeah, combat. Which I think is great fun. I mean, the combat. I mean, it's kind of the core of the game, but it's so fun. Like, it's great. There's lots of options.
It was really fun. Yeah.
So many options, so many choices. I mean, we were I mean, from how we were pretty tired when we played, but I mean, thinking about it, there were many opportunities where we could have, like, you know, with the dragon, we could have, like, positioned ourselves so the dragon could have injured its own troops. We could have totally gamed it. I mean, there were quite a lot of
yeah, but we didn't because we're too dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to it, it's cool because I mean, you learn. It's a game where you sort of learn to get better at it, and you don't just get better at it; you get better at your character.
And then, but there's a purpose to learning. That's what's great. Like, you know, you can learn to do different tactics and stuff like that.
For sure.
Rather than, you know, being sort of limited, and rather than there being an optimal move, I suppose.
Yeah, because most of these kind of games, I mean, there aren't many games like this, but most of your sort of dungeon crawl, tactical miniatures, descent style, sort of grid-based combat games, you're pretty much always running up to bad guy and punching it with your sword or whatever you are. Or if you're an archer, you use your bow, and that's all you do. I mean, you just do that with slight variations. But in this, you know, you've got all these abilities, and each ability is a die that does a very specific thing. It's not just giving a boost. Sometimes it gives a boost, but you've got to get that die to roll with the right combination of other die, and it's just more exciting. It's just
to draw on what was great about this, and to make a comparison. The corrosive worm we fought in the final match, Death Maggot. He was really great because he wasn't like that strong, but he was incredibly deadly. Yeah. And also the combination of him and the Goblin King's Kaboom ability actually made for a really potentially devastating combo. And so that gave that fight really interesting restrictions that we had to kind of work our way around and think our way around. But what it presented was an interesting situation with interesting things happening. It didn't. I'll tell you what it didn't do. It didn't turn off any of our abilities.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It didn't restrict our options, but it did by
I mean, we couldn't target the Goblin King at the point. So
we could target his throne in melee combat, but but that's sort of like that's
just a boss thing.
Sort of an extra challenge element. I mean, what I'm saying basically is that it did everything that the Conan demon should have done.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the comparison I'm drawing.
Yeah, from Conan. So, but for those who haven't seen it, in Conan there was a specific monster that just turned off abilities of heroes inside it.
Well, all his abilities were you can't move and you can't reroll dice.
Which is like turns off most of the ability of heroes. It's restricting them. So we talked about it quite a lot, but... Mm-hmm. Essentially, I personally think that's really bad design in a game because it's just, why do you want to restrict your players? I mean, that's boring.
But it's lazy design. It's like, instead of coming up with something else, let's just turn off the stuff we've already invented.
That'll make it more challenging, but it doesn't make it more interesting.
It just limits. Well, it doesn't make it more challenging because it just limits the player's options.
But it challenges, but not in a good way. It just makes it hard in a sort of unfair way. It doesn't increase the difficulty of what you're facing against. It increases the difficulty by just weakening you, which isn't exciting.
Well, I think, but in Conan as well, we didn't have such a diverse range of options that we had much other than to decide how many dice we would throw or crystals we would spend.
Sure.
In this, what the corrosive worm did with his ranged attack and stuff like that, and also combo with the Goblin King's ability to push you back to the edge of the board and force you to run back in, is now when we run back in, we've got to decide who we're going to hit. We've got to try and kill the corrosive worm as quickly as possible by putting out as much damage as possible. We've got to choose between our ranged and our melee attacks, and we've got all these abilities. And this was a great thing that I thought I would hate and I actually really liked, was the abilities was the exhausted dice. It's like, I'm going to use this ability now. I've rolled this die. I can either put it back and not use it at all, which has wasted my dexterity, or I can I can exhaust it, but then it's gone for the whole battle.
Or sometimes you can lock it and save it for later.
Yeah, if you get a
Depending on
die
the
fish
die.
you like, yeah. But that's not
great,
always
though.
possible. That was great.
That's more choices within the lot. So every
Yeah.
choice now has a bunch of choices that vary with it, and that does make it great.
I was probably not locking as many dice as I should have.
Yeah, no, I only figured out locking dice like halfway through the game, so I was like, oh, I can lock these.
I probably want to keep that.
So anything else you have to say? I mean, I haven't played a game this good in a long time. I'm just gonna say. I mean,
it is
I'm
a
always,
luxury item.
yeah.
I mean, let's say we were just buying the core set. How much would that? Well, where can we buy it?
So this is only available from Chip Theory Games' website. They now have a sort of dispatcher Games Quest in the UK, but you order it from their website. You have to pay in dollars, and the shipping is also cost in dollars, but it's cheaper shipping because it's dispatched from the UK. I got this with the 3 character expansions and the adventure mat. That's an add-on, £180, which is quite a lot. But I think without all of those bits, it's somewhere in the 100. I checked on the website. I think it's about 100. I think it's about 100 and something pounds, 110 maybe.
Does that include shipping?
Yeah, with shipping to the
So
UK.
for just
to the
the
UK.
base set.
Yeah, to the UK.
So £110 is a lot of money.
I mean, it's not a cheap game.
That's 2 other really solid games.
Or 3 okay, medium. I mean,
Medium weight solid games.
but for what you get, I think it's completely worth it because it's not just the fact that the game's awesome. I mean, I've never judged a game by components. I'm really more about the mechanics and the systems and if it's fun before anything else. I mean, we played Fleet Captains. That's terrible, like quality game. It's fun though. But this game shocked me by how beautiful it just felt. I mean, you can't tell by seeing it, but I mean, the poker chips. When I first held the poker chips, they were so like heavy. And all the dice, they're properly lit. They're not stickers. They're laser cut on. The cards. Everything's waterproof. It's fantastic. I mean, not like I'd play it underwater, but just the fact that I don't ever need to sleeve these. I mean, the cards, they're like indestructible. They have this cool. I don't even know what this is made out of, but completely fine.
They do have this habit of just kind of slipping away.
Oh yeah, that's for another thing. Like if you
That's why we had everything elasticized in the video. If you saw,
right on cue.
Perfect timing.
So I was trying to pick up the whole deck of Trove Loot cards. I've got 4, and that's from the front. I have to pick up 8.
So after this video, we're gonna play 52 pickup. Yeah,
it's about 52.
They have a habit of doing that. But you
get the idea.
You get really high quality cards that
I mean,
it's submerged in water.
I rather have that than cards that don't slip. It's not a big deal.
And it's hard to think of many other sort of adventure games that do what this does and do it as well and is in an as interesting a way. I mean, I really liked all of the stuff we did between fights.
Yeah, that was
which
cool.
is really important. Especially I liked picking where I'm going to put my die. I liked ticking up my stat dies, which is weird. And I liked I love trying to open Trove Loot. That was great.
Such a cool mini
game. I really wish we had more Trove Loot.
Yeah, it's a cool. And I mean, your character's got so many abilities. You can basically get a second intuition die to use for one lockpicking attempt, which is powerful.
Although, I don't know how useful it would have been in our game because there weren't that many opportunities to pick up Trove Loot. I suppose that was the one thing, actually, in terms of the characters. I mean, they're obviously so unique. It's really a very minor gripe because they all have these unique and different skill trees. But, their sort of special abilities were there. I felt like they could have made a bit more of the power to go innate. Like leveling up to your innate ability.
Oh, okay.
By spending 6 bones.
They make the innate more powerful.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of your innate a bit better.
Yeah, your innate. Like I went up from getting extra loot to, like, instead of drawing 2 and keeping 1, I can draw 2 and keep 2.
But that's really powerful. I mean, mine was just, instead of look at 1 stack, I can look at 2 stacks.
That's what I mean, but
mine wasn't very interesting at all compared to yours. Yours was a lot better. You could
mine felt like, I mean, it felt like sort of a nice extra. It didn't feel like sort of something that I was.
Yeah, but
I kept forgetting it was there.
Me too. I mean,
you know.
But I think that comes with more plays, maybe. And I mean, we haven't seen the other characters. They could have completely different innates that are more useful. Yeah.
I wanted a character that went like Super Saiyan. You know, when he went innate, it was just like suddenly opened up this whole.
Well, I hear Tantrum's a bit of a berserker. Maybe he has some things where he can.
Have you seen Tantrum's backup mechanic?
No.
Oh, it's really cool. When he gets more dice or whatever, as he rages, he's got this rage counter die that ticks up. And then his bones, his backup is calm down. Oh, right. He spends dice to calm down again.
That's cool. So you mentioned adventure games like this.
Mm-hmm.
I played the Pathfinder adventure card game, which I really liked the idea of at the time, but then slowly came to realize that it's sort of a game of turning over cards and rolling a dice and turning over a card and rolling. That's all you really do.
Yeah, so I've played it a little bit,
and I found that really basic. And then, what I liked about that the most was the persistency that your deck was your character, and you could keep that between games. I really liked that.
Yeah, I like that.
Then when I realized the game was kind of terrible, I swapped it for Mistfall, which was sort of similar but a little more hardcore on the mechanics. But that game was really just very mathy, very distinct, not a lot of probability apart from your own deck, and too many options, too much of a brain boiler, I felt. This, I feel like, I know it's a very different game and mechanically, but what it's trying to do as an adventure RPG, I think blows both of those games out of the water. I think this game does it in such a sort of artistic way. Like, it's just so
Well, what this
fluid.
is really going for it as well, because like we were saying, you know, I think fighting the Goblin King there, when we reached the end, we'd kind of run out of things to do with our training points. I mean, there was always some extra.
There was plenty more I could have done.
Yeah, there was plenty more we could have done, but there's nothing more we needed to do. Really, I mean, we delayed 2 days and we still had that boss fight kind of on lockdown, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the only danger to us was our own exhaustion.
Yeah, and forgetting rules and getting stuff wrong
and stuff like that.
And sorry,
about that. Yeah. Well, you know, we paid the price for dilly dallying.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, but what I was going to say was just that. What was I going to say? What I was going to say was that it felt like I'd sort of accomplished what I wanted and I was ready for the game to end. I wasn't frustrated that it had ended too soon, and it wasn't going on too long either. It felt like, and you know, I mean, we do have to caveat this in that our game did take a lot longer, but that's because we're recording a show. You know, it's not because the game is really long. If we played now, you and I'm sure we'd go through it a lot faster.
Yeah.
And I think by the end, I'd probably want to play more, but I'd probably want to play a new game. I wouldn't want to like carry on that. It feels like a good length, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you mean once you've beaten the tyrant,
once you've got to the tyrant
again?
Yeah, start again and try something different. Try a different tyrant, try different characters, try different builds. Yeah. And it didn't take. It didn't outstay its welcome. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's a tight experience, and it's a one-shot experience. It's not legacy. It's not campaign-based. You sort of get it out, play it with your mates. Great tight co-op, and then it's done, and you put it.
But
away.
It offers so much, and there's so many interesting combinations and stuff. There's a lot more to explore as well. You don't feel like you played it, and then you're just like, okay.
That's everything. No, you've
barely
scratched the surface with that first play, and and you walk away from it just sort of thinking, all right, what could I have done better? Maybe I could have done that stat instead. Maybe I should have run in like that. Maybe I should have built like this. I mean, there's always learning, like we were saying earlier, that comes from this.
Hey, did you ever check out what happened with our Board Game Geek thread?
Did
that just die the night?
So basically, the whole thing we were getting wrong with those exploding shrooms that we got wrong quite a few times was that you can only use your backup plan once per turn on your own turn only, right?
Right.
Not at any time. And that's it. And then exploding shrooms makes sense because it means you can basically once per turn get your free first level backup.
Right, so I always just count as having one. So every time it basically means I can use a backup plan every turn no matter what.
Yeah, essentially. And the other thing that we were a bit confused about the rulebook states it a bit weird about how loot, you have to use it on your turn, could be read as you have to use loot on your turn if you have it, but actually it just means if you want to use your loot, you must use it when it is your turn. You're not forced to use it. That's something I got a bit confused about.
Oh, what with the skinning knife?
Yeah,
is that in our playthrough?
No, that wasn't in our playthrough. But when we did do that, you didn't have to use it every time. There's no force on. You can use it on your turn, unless it specifies like outside of a battle.
Mm.
So that's just another rule thing. I mean, I'm out of things except that another thing to mention: the dice trays that this comes with. I mean, it's not a big thing, but it comes with 4, one for each character, which is great. I mean, I haven't played a game that gives
You've got 2 characters in there, Ben.
So yeah, that's 2 characters. I haven't got them all out. But, maybe one empty one and one full one.
Don't drop it.
There you go. And I mean, it's really simple, but it's just so nice to have. I mean, you saw us playing with them and being able to see all your dice. I don't know, man. I haven't seen production probably this high before.
They're solid as well. They're not flimsy.
No. And I mean, they could have easily done those as extras that come outside of the game, but they obviously thought, no, if you're playing this game, you need these for organizational purposes, and they've given them to us, which is great. So yeah, I think I'm done. I have nothing else to say.
After 11 episodes, I still don't know what a gear lock is.
Or where we're from. Or what
they're from.
Or what the name of the land is.
Yeah. Or why everybody on Kickstarter voted for the first Kickstarter enemy to be added, a rogue gear lock.
Oh.
Duster. She was the most popular tyrant to be added as a stretch goal.
Oh, cool. Is she in the game?
Yeah, Duster and the werewolf are the 2 Kickstarter stretch goal enemy tyrants. And she's like a rogue gear lock that you have to hunt down and kill.
Didn't know that. Cool.
But, Gearlocks, they're kind of like a cross between a Vulcan and a Hobbit. Apparently they've come back from the mists of time or the dead or something to be Gearlocks and save the world, but,
It's fluff. I mean, it's good fluff, but it's just a great game on its own, I think. I mean, the theme could have been anything and I would have loved this game. Definitely.
That's true, actually, and I guess maybe it's such a nod because it actually. Do you know what? I think if we didn't have that little map, that would have been. I don't know why that map adds a lot. Yeah. If you're gonna invest in this game, get the little map.
Yeah, the map was an extra. Otherwise, you just get like a little card that acts as like a.
And you've still got the story encounters and stuff, but and they kind of fill out the world. They've got flavor text on them and stuff like that. But that map added a lot, I felt.
Yeah, especially because it was in sync with as the encounter cards we were pulling. We got to the river, and then we had the encounter about the river, and then it's like, do we want to move faster along the river, or do we just play it safe and try and hire a dude? I mean, there were lots of choices, and it was reflected in where we were. Very simple, but
that map helped a lot because I guess there are the encounter cards, and there's a lot of flavor in the game, but it still does seem kind of like abstract.
Yeah.
Well, or generic fantasy setting, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is fine because.
But this is a very original.
I like fantasy setting anyway. Yeah, and it's kind of it's kind of a bit like.
Kind of steampunky as well. Actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was going to say actually, if it reminds me of anything, it kind of reminds me of Warcraft.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Because it's sort of like bombs and stuff. But no, it's not too dark. It's quite quirky.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something you can play with the family as well. I mean, you don't die, you'll get knocked out. I don't know if that makes a difference, but, I don't know. It just
there's definitely no adult themes.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. We were making it a bit adult, but that's because we're funny.
Yes, we're funny. Remember that. We said it. So it must be true.
And we're on the internet. And everything you say on the internet is true.
Yeah, we read it on the internet. It must be true.
I'm running out of things to say.
Yeah, I'm done. That was good. And if anything, we've said too many things.
Too many things. Too many bones.
Yeah. See how I did that?
Oh, you did it on purpose.
I did that on
He
purpose.
is funny.
Yep. Also, I don't know any other dice building RPGs, so there you go. If you want
Yeah.
a dice builder RPG, this is the only one I'm aware of. I'm sure someone will correct me though. No, there is another one. Fuck, I did see another one
Where?
on Kickstarter.
Well.
It's okay. Fade to black, and we'll put it in the show notes. It's the end of the episode now. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll be check the description for that thing that I said, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next exciting adventure beginning tomorrow. And if you've enjoyed this series, or you enjoy Too Many Bones, or you want to let us know about some cool Tyrant Gearlock combos, leave a comment, and we'll definitely read those and check those out and get back to you. Ben and I are going to play this again, so we
We're gonna play
would
it right now.
appreciate your recommendations. Yep.
Yeah. Go away so we can play.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Do you,